Hello there. I wanted to create this video because I had footage on my phone for an Instagram story. What I did was I recorded a longer length version and decided to create a time-lapse type video for Instagram Reels. And it didn't do very well on Instagram. It only showed it to 0.18% of my audience, which I was a little bit miffed by. So I'm hoping that you wonderful people on YouTube will be able to get the benefit of a longer length video. And I'm wondering if it's also a sign that I need to find another platform to share videos of my art demos and processes. This is the 32-second reel that I put together for Instagram, and this version that I'm recording for YouTube hasn't had as much time lapse put on it compared to the one I uploaded to Instagram, and I really wanted to compare and contrast to see how these two videos compared on two different platforms, which video is seen more. As of this recording, I have just over 1,100 subscribers on YouTube. So even if 200 people watch this video, that is over 5% of my subscribers. And if 400 people watch this particular video, that is basically almost 10% of my YouTube subscribers, which I hope will happen. But I think it's going to be really interesting to find out. So I'm going to stop talking now, ranting about Instagram, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about how I put together this particular sketchbook page with watercolor and ink. So first of all, these are Firethorn berries, and if you know of them, they are in very dense clumps, and it would be really difficult for me to paint every individual one. So what I'm really trying to do is create the shapes of them. I've probably used a cadmium yellow and a cadmium orange, and then I'm just dropping in a little bit of Windsor red so that the pigments are now able to mix together. And I love the way the pigments flow into each other, and once it's dry it's going to create some really gorgeous results. This one is ivy. I don't know what the flowering part of an ivy is called, but I saw it on my walk. I'm filming this in early October, and again they are really dense, so I'm not trying to incorporate everything, and because I know that I'm going to be adding ink, I'm able to leave a little bit of room for maneuver so that I can add the ink details later. These in the top right are sycamore, and I love these helicopter seeds. I used to call them as a child, and they hadn't quite turned the distinctive brown. They still had a very small hint of green in them, so it was the quin gold with a little bit ochre, and the actual bits where the seeds are in, it would have been a burnt sienna that I was dropping in, and again I will be letting those pigments merge. Now we get onto the crab apples. I don't know what you call them in different parts of the world, but this is one of my favourite things to paint because they're so cute. They have such beautiful colourings, and so there's a lot of graduation happening. Again, I'm using a bit of cadmium orange with the red dropped in, and now I'm adding the green leaves, which is quin gold mixed with a sap green, and this is a slightly darker green. It would have been the olive green probably. I've let that dry completely, and now we will look at the ink. This particular version is Liquitex. It's an acrylic ink, and now you can see that I am picking out just a few of the berries. I'm not outlining every single berry, I'm just picking out where it's densest, and you see I've just put another outline where there isn't any orange, and it's just to give more information. This is just another layer of information. It is just an impression of what I see in front of me. I'm not adding every single leaf. It was so dense, so you can see the reference that I'm using there. It's just gives you a helpful hint of what was going on. And same again with the way that the ink line work will attach to those the ends of the greens that I've added there. And that's all that's needed. It's still recognisable as the flowering part of ivy. And I love this approach for that very reason. It's very loose and open to interpretation, which is pretty much how I incorporate a lot of my artwork. It's an interpretation. It isn't a exact copy of what I see in front of me, and that gives me a lot of artistic license and helps me to just relax rather than thinking, oh, I must include every single sycamore seed. This I made up. There was like literally about a bunch of 20 there, and I've only been able to paint in about 7 or 8, and that's absolutely fine. That's all you need to let the viewer know. I picked some really gorgeous sycamore seeds that were hanging in a particular way. Now these gorgeous crab apples, starting with the very tip. I could have added a little bit of green paint there, but I knew because I was going to go back in with the ink, I was able to add that detail at this stage. And even though that the green had merged into the orangey red, I just gave it an outline. So I think that was a really good approach for me anyway. And just for context, I wanted to say this was an Inktober challenge called Morning Till Night that I was co-hosting with Sam Dion Baker, and you had different parts of the day and you had to incorporate your routine that you would have been doing at 10 a.m. And for me, I was going for a walk, and that's why I picked these items and painted them. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below anything else that you'd like to know about this process. And don't forget to hit subscribe, because I hope there will be loads more videos like this. Thank you very much.